Okay, welcome back. What I'd like to show you in this video is what you need to know to be able to build your own version of Frogger. I'm starting here from this game, and it has some of the stuff already done for us. This actually does things that you already know how to do. So, for example, the frog, oops, let me run it. The frog can go move with the cursor. Okay, it can cross the road. This frog can swim, so it makes the game of Frogger a little easier. We can go up here, and there it goes. It got home. That is the goal of the frog. Okay, so the frog won this game. Not hard to do since there are no enemies. Now let's introduce our first enemy. This is the truck, and we'll place the truck right here. Okay, let's play again. Well, that wasn't very exciting. The truck simply started on the left edge of the road and immediately just dashed to the right edge of the road. I didn't even have time to get my frog moving. So that's clearly not what we want. Okay. Now you might think that there's an easy way to fix that. We can change the speed. So let's do that. Okay, let's make the system run slowly. And again, I need to place a truck. We'll put it here. Yeah, well, it's still, the problem is that the truck is moving a little more slowly, but so is the frog. Okay, so this still isn't quite right. The frog isn't responding to me. So let's try something different. Okay, so let's edit the behavior. I'm gonna bring the conditions palette right here, and also the actions. Sometimes they come by themselves. Most of the times they do. Every once in a while I have to bring them up. It's no biggie. Okay, so here is our rule. If the truck sees a road to the right, then it moves to the right. Not quite what we want. We want to slow the truck down a little bit. And there's actually a way to do that. And so one of our conditions is right here, once every. I can bring it over here. Let's change it to 0.75 seconds, for example. And what this says is that this rule will only actually do its thing every 3/4 of a second. Okay, so now it doesn't really matter how quickly the simulation or the game is running. This will only execute once every 3/4 of a second. So let's see what we get. We'll get our truck. We'll place the truck right here, and we'll hit go. Notice that it's moving. It doesn't matter whether I make my simulation go significantly faster or slower. The truck is moving every roughly second, 3/4 of a second. Okay. Now that's the first thing. Okay, so that was great. But you notice we have kind of a problem. The truck started here, went all the way to the right, and now it stopped. Okay, what we really want is for the truck to somehow disappear when it gets to the edge. So how can we do that? Here's what we can do. We can place another kind of agent here, and when the truck gets there, what we'll do is we'll get rid of the truck. Okay, so let's build the agent that will do that. Because of the graphics that we're using, I'm going to call this agent a tunnel. Okay, it doesn't matter. I could call it well, here's an earlier attempt. I called it a truck builder earlier. Okay, let's actually delete that agent. We don't need it. Oh, they make it hard. Yes. Okay, so let's go back to our tunnel, and we'll change the image. Okay, let's clear this, and we'll import one of the images. I've got a whole host of these set up in my download, so let's just go here, and we have a tunnel on the right hand side, so let's grab it. That's what it looks like. Okay, we'll reset. Let's place this tunnel right there, and what we're going to do is we're going to save this worksheet so that the tunnel is saved with it. Okay, all right, now what we want is for our truck to start here, proceed to the edge of the tunnel. There it goes. Hurry, little truck. When it gets there, instead of just simply stopping, we actually want it to disappear. And to get that behavior, we'll just add another rule. Okay? And what we're going to see is we want to say, look, if we see towards the right the tunnel, then we're going to essentially pretend that we went into it. And the way we do that is just by erasing ourselves. You could also erase any of the objects that's around us, but in this case we really just want to erase ourselves. So let's try that. If I hit run again, the truck disappears because it notices that there's that tunnel there. Again, just to make sure we're clear, let's run our friend. Here he goes. I want to get rid of this truck. How did that get in there? Ah, and there it went. Okay, very good. So that's one step. The other kind of question is, well, this is nice, but every time we do this, we have to place a truck, right? That's not a very good game. We actually want the trucks to just appear by themselves, and we can do that too. So one of the ways to do that is simply to create an agent that will go here that will generate the trucks for us. We already have a tunnel, so we'll just use that same guy. This is the tunnel facing right. Let's create one that's going to go on the left side. So we'll create a new depiction. We'll call it left tunnel. Okay, and again, we can, edit depiction. We can edit this. By default, it just picked the previous one, but it's actually not what I want. We could do a few things. For example, I could actually just reverse this with a graphics tool, but I have a tunnel already in here. So let me just get that. There we go. Okay. And this tunnel, we're actually going to make the code that will create some new trucks. Okay, so let's edit the behavior. Let's see how that might work. Looking at the scenario right here, this is where the tunnel is going to be, and it should be able to see a blank space of road. And if it sees that, then it'll build a truck. Okay, so let's get this. What we see to the right is a road. Okay, and then what I want to do is create a truck, and that's what this new action is about. We'll say we'll create, it's already selected truck, and we just got to decide where to place it. We want it to be on the right. Okay, excellent. Let's apply that. Okay, I'll get rid of these for now. And what we want is one right there. Actually, that's not quite where I wanted it. That's what I'm going to get. Okay, so I've right-clicked here so that I can choose which one of the depictions to use, and the one that I want is the left tunnel. Okay, that just makes it look a little bit nicer. All right, I want to save this so that the left tunnel appears. Resetting, playing. Ah, well, that's not quite what we want, is it? So what's happening? We create a truck. Right, the left tunnel creates a truck. Eventually the truck moves. When the truck moves, there's a road, and the tunnel creates another truck. Yeah, that's not going to be any fun to play, right? There's no way to cross the road, so let's forget that. That's clearly not right. Let's edit our code. Okay. Again, that's really a message that I want to give you. This is how we write programs. They almost never do what we want. Okay. So let's look at the conditions. There's kind of an easy one that I want to do, and that was what we did previously with the truck. We don't want it to move all the time, so once every let's say 1.5 seconds. Okay, you can of course change that in your game, make it more fun or whatever. Okay. Now that might be a little better. Let's apply. I want to look at the game again. Okay, there we go. Yeah, it's working better. It's still not exactly great. You notice how the spacing is really, really uniform between those trucks, and that makes sense, right? So, so again, that won't be a lot of fun to play. There's something else we can do to make it more interesting. Let's edit the behavior of the tunnel. Instead of just once every 5 seconds, let's also say that it can only happen some random amount of time. So this is percent chance. This says there's a 50% chance that this will actually happen. So every 1.5 seconds we'll check. If it's heads, we'll create a truck. If it's tails, we don't create a truck. Let's see how that does to our game. Well, there's a truck. Wow. This is too easy. Okay. So we can change those percentages. All right. Ah, there we go. We can get through. Ha, ha. Okay. We've got something, okay? But this is kind of a super frog. It actually stops the trucks. That's not what we want. What we want is to say, look, when the frog sees a truck, it's about to run it over, then the game's over. The frog should die, right? A couple of things that I'd like to show you with that. One of those is, again, we're going to use depictions. And in this case, I want to add a depiction of a dead frog. Okay? And here's our frog. We want to edit this depiction. It's the same one, the default. Again, we'll clear it. And we have an image that goes with that, which is down here. Squashed frog. There we go. Oh, that doesn't look good, does it? Okay, so what we'd like to do is when a truck hits us, right, we're going to change our depiction so that we look like the dead frog, and then we'll stop the game. All right, so let's give that a shot. We need to change the behavior, okay? So let's add a new rule. And again, I need my conditions. Okay, so what we want is if we see a truck, okay? Now, by the way, I could do this so that it's if I'm stacked inside of a truck or if I see the truck about to hit me. You can do either. I find that actually stopping when you see the truck is a better graphical effect because there's actually the truck and then the dead frog as opposed to the frog on top. That doesn't seem as realistic. So I'll take this. If we see a truck barreling down on us, then there's a couple of things that we have to do. Okay. The first one is change. Change changes the way we look. Okay. So we say this is our new depiction. Okay. That's pretty good. And then we can do some of the other things that we've done in the past, such as some text. And we can, this is some sound actually. And let's grab, let's see, I always like choosing some weird thing for this. Scream will do. Okay, and we can have some text. We might say something like, oh no, we're doomed. Okay, and then we'll stop the simulation. Okay, let's apply that. Let's run it. Let's see what is happening now. Here comes a truck. Let's phaser death.
No, we're doomed.
Okay. Well, that's kind of nice. Okay, mostly worked. This is perhaps a little unsatisfactory end. It's finished the game. We would have to reset it to start. You know, it's not bad. Okay. There's other things you can do, and I'll let you play with them. You see that we can stop the simulation. We can also reset the simulation. That gets us back to our starting condition.
Oh, no. We're doomed.
I'm sorry, I like doing that. Something else that you might find is if you are going to reset the simulation, you really need to wait. So actually, let me show you that. So right here, we're stop the simulation. Let's get rid of that. And instead, we'll reset the simulation, okay? But if we simply run it like this, here's what will happen. Let's go.
Oh no, we're doomed.
So it resets it, but you know, again, not too satisfying because it happens too quickly. So what we can do is just wait for a certain number of seconds, and that's easy enough to do. Okay, and let's say that we wait for 1 second. Here they go.
Oh no, we're doomed.
All right, so that's great. We can play. We've got some danger. We got all sorts of things that we wanted to see. Okay, there's one more trick that I want to show you. Okay, and to do that, we need to create some logs. Okay, so let's do that. Okay, welcome back. Agent Sheets crashed, so I just restarted the process, and here we are. One thing I've done is I've added a creator here for logs. This is just exactly like the tunnel for the trucks. Next thing I'm going to do, just to try to make this a little prettier, is make sure that we have all the water going right to the edge. Okay, so there we're at. I'll save this so that I can just restore from now on, and let's run our game. Oh, here come the logs. Huh, that's extremely disappointing. You know what's happening, right? The logs don't have any behavior, so let's fix that. Okay, so the first part of the behavior, of course, is that we want it to move. The second part of the behavior, well, actually, that's all we want for now. Let's bring up our conditions and our actions, and we're going to have it move right, and only if it sees water towards that. Okay, we might as well add the other rule that if we see the end of the creator, then it goes ahead and erases itself. Okay, so that should do it. And let's run. Yeah, it didn't go fast enough. Okay, all right. Let's. Okay, there he goes. Looks a little bit more reasonable, except for stacking. Oh, only if you see it in the right. That's the process of computing. Okay, we all do this. If you find yourself struggling with the rules not working, don't worry about it. That's the way it's supposed to be. Okay, so here we go. Now he's actually looking like he's doing the right thing. Okay, so let's stop it, and let's try to play it, but I'm not going to play fair. Okay, there's absolutely no reason to play fair. What I'll do is I'll get rid of that. Now no trucks are being built. Okay, let's play. Wait a minute. That didn't do what I wanted it to do. What I wanted to happen was that when the frog jumped on top of the log would actually carry the frog along, right? But what we saw happening instead is that the log continued and left the frog. The frog stayed in that cell even after the log moved. The reason for that is that we told it, the log that is, to move. We didn't give it any instructions to actually carry along whatever it had with it. Okay, so that's kind of my way of introducing you to this new action. This action here is move. We see the water, we move. That's not what we want, okay? Instead, what we want is something called transport, okay? So the distinction between move and transport is that move moves the object, transport moves the object and anything that is on top of it, okay? So let's try this again. Again, I don't want to play fair. I'm getting rid of that guy. Let's play. Ah, there's our frog, okay? You can see Frogger now. Again, I can just get across the water. All right, so that is actually all the things that you need to know to be able to build your own version of Frogger. This version is, you know what, is a good version. It's very easy to win. Probably not as much fun to play, but it's a lot of fun to build, so we'll take it. I'll let you guys build this next class period.